plasma waves. Why this is in news is because Indian Institute of Geomagnetism, IIG, Indian Institute of Geomagnetism, these people have found out existence of something called high frequency plasma waves, where not on Earth but majorly in Mars. Therefore, this topic is important. Now we need to know what is meant by plasma waves. So they are fundamentally what you have to understand is they are electromagnetic waves. You know what's electromagnetic wave? A wave which is formed due to electric fields and magnetic fields fundamentally. So when there is a coercion of electric as well as magnetic field, what happens is a wave is created. That kind of wave is called electromagnetic wave in simple terms. But they are able to find an electromagnetic wave which can propagate through plasma. So you need to know what is meant by plasma. Now what is plasma is, how it is formed is, you take a gas, you heat it to a very high temperature, and then after taking it to a high temperature, you put electric fields on both sides. Once you put electric fields on both sides, what happens is, the atoms which are there in that particular field will ionize. You know what is meant by an ion? Ion is nothing but, for example, if O is there, this is an atom. O breaking as O2 minus with 2 electrons, this is called an ion. Similarly, if hydrogen is there, H breaks as H plus plus 1 electron. So this is called an ion. So ions are fundamentally charged particles. Ions are fundamentally charged particles. I hope all of you have understood this part. So when the atom breaks, it forms ions. So when those waves are subjected to very strong electric fields under very high temperatures, they break into ions and they fundamentally get ionized. How do they get ionized? Ionization happens in two ways. One, by gaining electrons or by losing electrons. Either ways, by gaining electrons also, you get extra electrons, therefore it becomes negative ion. By losing electrons, you are losing electrons, therefore your positive charge increases, it becomes positive ions. Excuse me. So, in Earth, they were able to find plasma waves in Earth's magnetosphere. They were able to find these waves, and fundamentally they are all very short time fluctuations. They happen, they come here and go off. Why it is important is, they are fundamentally, these particles gain a lot of energy, therefore that is called energization of the ionized particles, especially in Earth's magnetosphere. Therefore it is very important. And some of these act as something called cleaning agents within the Earth's radiation belt. So that is the way they are very important. For example, best example I can give you is EMIC waves. They are nothing but electromagnetic ion cyclotrons. They are very useful for cleaning and all that stuff. But the problem with the cleaning part is, once they start clearing, once they start cleaning the spaces and all that, it becomes a big problem for the satellites. That is another issue with it. So please remember, so plasma is formed when a gas is heated to high temperatures and subjected to a strong electric fields, causing atoms to become ionized. So in Earth, you are founding an electromagnetosphere. What is the use of it? Energization happens and transport of the particles happen. Some act as cleaning agent of the Earth's radiation. Example is electromagnetic ion cyclotron waves. So if you remember this, very useful for your prelims, because it has been recently in news. And Japan, USA and UAE have studied, and including IIG scientists they have collaborated to understand the existence of these kind of plasma waves in Mars. So the problem with Mars is, the issue is, Mars internally does not have a magnetic field like Earth. So once it does not have a magnetic field, what happens is, from the sun whatever solar winds are coming, they directly hit with respect to the Mars atmosphere and an obstacle is getting created. So what you have to understand is, since the magnetic field does not exist there, how are these plasma waves being formed? As I told you, plasma waves fundamentally electromagnetic. That means electricity is there, magnetic fields both must be there. But Mars does not have a magnetic field intrinsically. Then where are the magnetic fields coming from? It is coming because of the solar winds which are popping up. But end of the day, I told you they're all particles and movements. So because of that, plasma waves are found especially in Mars. Therefore, that is the reason it is very important. Now, what are the other kind of waves? Please remember, plasma waves in Mars. So Mars does not have intrinsic magnetic field. High speed solar wind coming from the sun is very important. Now please remember electronic oscillations with respect to the background of magnetic field in the region of Mars. Now please remember this waves. Langmuir waves, they are called parallel oscillations, and upper hybrid type waves, they are perpendicular oscillations. So these two are very important for your prelims. These two waves are very important for your prelims. What is the significance? It provides a tool to explore how electrons gain or dissipate energy in the Martian plasma waves. So how are in Earth it's a different ballgame, but in Mars where the gravity and other things are very less, they are able to find out how how the electrons are getting dissipated or energized. So if you are able to understand this, that is sufficient. So what you have to remember for your exam is, it does not have magnetic field, that is one point. Second, these oscillations, the parallel oscillations are called Langmuir waves and the perpendicular oscillations are called upper hybrid type waves. These are the two waves that you have to remember for your prelims. And what is the advantage of it? Because they are trying to find out how electrons gain and dissipate energy even in the atmosphere of Mars. I think that is more than sufficient for your plasma waves.